Good evening and welcome to the Zul'jin Distillery Esports Invitational. I think I need to adjust the size of that here real quick for that logo. It's just slightly outside of the window. Shrink that down just a little. There we go. So we are tonight going to be watching Church of Murky and Wood League. So quick take on the standings just to see where these teams are at. We've got Wood League there up at number 2 with 9 points. Church of Murky down with 2 points. And we're currently just waiting on one player to get here so that we can get the game started. But Wood League, as you can see, looking to score a 2-0 victory and put them up there with Winky Face. And I believe there was a comment earlier that that they may hold the tie over Winky Face. So that would give them the first place seed on the tournament standings. And this is the end. There are 2 games going on right now. This one, and then the other game between Bancho and I believe Nexus Cats. No, I'm sorry, Bancho and Lubu. So check that VOD out, because of course you're here watching me tonight. We do have our map selections and bans, so with this being a best of 2, which doesn't really make any difference of calling it a best of 2, there are only 2 games. So the maps that have been banned are Alterac Pass and Towers of Doom. And the maps that we're going to see tonight are going to be Infernal Shrines first, that was picked by Church of Murky. And we're going to see Towers of... Nah, that's not right. The ban was Alterac Pass and Tomb of the Spider Queen, sorry. Towers of Doom is going to be the second map that we actually play. Oh, shit. Sorry, I forgot to turn that off. Supposed to only do that once. So anyways, so tonight here we do see the potential for Wood League to take over that first position in the playoff race, and the 4th and 5th spot as well is up for grabs here with Bancho and Lubu, and Lubu could even see themselves, you know, potentially jumping up into, I think, 2nd place. So there's a lot at stake in these last couple of games tonight. So we'll have to see, you know, which team brings that extra level of competition to get them into the playoffs. So let's see, what else do I have to show you here tonight? So I showed you the standings, I showed you the maps. So with the Zul'jin Distillery here, let's go ahead and go over the setup here. So basically, in the event of a tie, which could very well happen, basically head-to-head record is first. If it's still tied, the next tiebreaker is basically a calculation that multiplies each map won by the final rank of the corresponding opponent. Okay, so each time they win, they get a certain number of points based on how high up the scale that opponent ends up being. So if they won a game against the first place team, they would get more points than if they won a game against the 5th place team, for example. So that tiebreaker does set them up for some, you know, kind of interesting calculations of if you perform well enough to beat higher teams than whoever you're tied with, then you'll actually find yourself being better seated. All right, so it looks like we've got everybody here. Let them all know. And so we do see, you know, Wood League and Church of Murky are now both available here, so they're getting everything ready. The first game going to be on Infernal Shrines. The Shrine's going to be a map where you're going to see some wave clear, you want to see some shrine clear. Heroes like Alex Straza and... wow, I just completely blanked. Sylvanas can see a lot of play here. Junkrat can see a lot of play. Even Sonya and Kerrigan, kind of the original map for Kerrigan. Math is hard. Math is hard. Stop it. I like maths. It's fun. So I think that we've got one team ready, it looks like. Yeah. May see some Diablo here. You know, Anubrak being kind of tied up there with Diablo at the top tanking rank, so fully expect to see some bans or selections out of those. And important to note that Chen is available. He is not banned out after his rework. So we may yet see some Panda action up in here tonight. I don't know if any of these guys play Chen before, but with the rework, you know, maybe they feel that he's all about it. And yes, yeah, it is a little bit of math to kind of go through to evaluate each of those wins and determine, you know, who's ahead. I think, let me scroll back. I think DeWitt actually did post the tiebreaker there, something like 20. Yeah, so well, this is between Bancho and Do It Right, that roughly, let's see, 29 potential points over 20 for Do It Right over Bancho. So that's for that 4th spot. But we don't know about the top seed, right? If Wood League manages to get the 2-0, I guess the 2-0, they must hold the record over Winky Face, because I think he said that they get the first spot here. But we're going into the draft, so let's hop on over here and give it just a moment to populate. First pick is going over to Wood League, so we're going to see the Anduin ban. So no potential life-saving leap of faiths coming out from either team in this matchup, at least. Getting that insta cleanse and hook back, and there goes that Anubarak. So, all right, Asmo. So we just don't like any of the A heroes today. Is Alarak going to be banned just because we're banning A's here? Is that how we're going about this? Oh, Kael'thas. So that leaves up the Diablo. If they want to take it. It also leaves up the Alexstrasza, another A that did not get banned out. Ana did not get banned out. And Junkrat, Kerrigan. You know, all those kind of standard heroes. And it is going to be the Alexstrasza being picked up by Sailor Sky. Not a big surprise if you follow... thanks, Corks. If you follow Sailor Sky, that is a top pick for her, and she plays it well, so we'll see how they counter that. Coming out with Orphea for the Dude and Johanna for Shock. And so, you know, so Johanna is going to give them that strong front brick wall, and Orphea is going to be able to follow up on those Condemns and the Blessed Shield with her Crushing Jaws, her E ability that I can't remember the name of to help slow things down and get that burst potential. But speaking of burst potential, we do get that Diablo Jaina coming out from the other side here, giving them that potential Ring and APOC combo, or a Welly Lightning Breath. You know, Lightning Breath clearing out minions, but really locking down potential avenues into the shrines. Final ban's going to be Blaze and Whitemane. So no bunkers to get into, and no shield. What is her thing called? I don't remember. So Greymane and Stukov coming out. So Stukov does see a lot of value here because he, again, just like I was talking about with the Lightning Breath, he can kind of silence and block off an area, you know, preventing the team from coming into that. The Greymane has pretty good Shrine Clear. He's got, you know, good damage potential, good burst potential. So he's just all around going to be a solid pickup for them. But Zeratul and Rexxar coming out. So we've got now even more potential combo play with the Void Prison between a potential Ring, an APOC, hell, even a Misha Stun. And for that last pick for presumably for the solo laner here for Church of Murky, we're gonna get, I don't know, Imperius? Oh, Tyrael. All right, so they're gonna get a sanctification, maybe? Keep them all alive with that big combo potential. I'm not sure. I don't know. That combo, if they land those combos, it's going to be a very difficult challenge for Tyrael to get off that sanctification. Corix is calling it already. Calling that. You're going to catch that in a minute, Corix, or probably a little bit less by now. All right. So getting ready here, going into Infernal Shrines game number 1. Let's see if I can get these all set up. And 10 Droopy. Oh my goodness. I did not get the name set up. Oh well, then we don't get the pop-ups this time. All right, so for Church of Murky over here in the blue, we've got Biguli on Stukov. We've got the dude running on Orphea, Shock on Johanna, Redbeard on Tyrael. I almost thought that was Imperius, and Orion on the Greymane. For the Wood League, we've got Kavlor on Jaina, Sailor Sky on Alexstrasza, Emtino on Diablo, Cyan on Rexar, and Droopy on Zeratul. Alrighty, so taking a look at these early talents here as Diablo's gonna flip Jaina. She pops Orion skin, gets out, and Droopy going into the backline, trying to get a little bit of damage early. Does VP not pause the... I guess it wouldn't pause the sanctification, would it? So yeah, there you go. That makes sense. So we've got top lane gonna be Rexar versus Tyrael, not Imperius. We'll have to keep an eye on that lane a bit as we get the rotation started coming out from Wood League. They're a little bit ahead, having this Jaina and Zeratul to, you know, just burn the waves down. Orphea and Greymane, though, can burn them equally as quickly, just with slightly longer cooldowns. And Rexar coming down into the middle because he pushed his lane up enough to help out. Looks like we're going to go ahead and start on this camp now, right at the 1 minute mark. And Church of Murky is going to go ahead and bypass. They're going to focus on getting the XP. And look at how quickly they get that. That's 15 seconds or less that it took them to get that, and now they can be aggressive here. But they don't have Jaina, so they've got limited damage here as Droopy's in a little bit of danger. But Jaina pops up, gets out that Cone of Cold, and slows everybody down, keeping Droopy from getting pushed too hard. Looks like dude is over there looking to try to maybe get somebody to help him start this camp, but nobody's close enough. They're all dealing with the wave. So he'll head back up to mid, soak the lane, get a little damage maybe on the siege camp there, as the rest of the team will start on their own mid camp. And in response, we now see Wood League coming down, grabbing this bottom camp and working on that pressure in the bot lane. So here we go. We've got 4v4 in the bot. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and engage in this fight at least a little bit. Not entirely, though. Greymane's pulling back. So this is just a minor skirmish, just to pad their DPS numbers. But Greymane here, if he's not careful, there's the Shadow Charge in, the Cleave coming out, and it's going to be first blood as Greymane didn't think he was too far ahead. He was definitely behind his halfway point, but it doesn't matter. It just takes one little bit of a corner for Greymane to get obliterated. All right. Is everything good on the frame rate, Silvara? Let me know if it's having problems here. So the top shrine here going to be a frozen shrine, as Wood League's grabbing their camp here to get things started here. And it's in the top lane, so it's not going to get a ton of pressure, but it'll give them the XP, and it'll give Church of Murky something to focus on aside from just getting what they can out of this shrine. And Kavlor will go ahead and get things started. He's going to start with the minions, Sailor Sky coming up to help him out here. Diablo anchoring that bush as the Shaman does get caught up here to the midpoint. And with that, Church of Murky will get their Shaman as well. So already just about to half here, and that's going to be a rough spot if you're Church of Murky, because you've got a Dragon Queen that is surely available. There's the flip onto Orphea, pulling her into the group here, and there's the Dragon Queen. Already at the halfway mark, the dude is in danger with almost no health, trying to get away from that big bear, but the bear's going to pull back, but ultimately Zeratul will finish off that high schooler. Shock also surrounded by red health bars here, trying to get out. Droopy going to be the one who body blocks, and it's going to be the Diablo overpower that sends Jaina back to the graveyard. And with that, this should be a nice, comfortable Shrine Frozen Punisher for Wood League. And the Frozen Punisher early on is so much value because it now shuts down structures, giving your team the opportunity to really push hard. It almost probably is even better to just go deep with that Punisher because of that fact. Oh, good deal. Thanks, Silvar. I just wanted to make sure. So level 7's online now for both teams. This Punisher's coming out. Rexar's heading off. Zeratul is chasing down the Tyrael, who doesn't have a lot of mana. And they're going to go ahead and focus on kind of split pushing, get what XP they can out of these other lanes, leaving the Jaina, Diablo, and Alexstrasza to get whatever value they can out of this Punisher. And Zeratul does come up here just to kind of, you know, keep an eye on things if there's potentially a pick. They get about a third of the health off of that fort. So, you know, decent value out of that first Punisher. Maybe they could have gotten more. It's almost actually to half now. So maybe they could have gotten more if they had everybody, but they'd also be a little bit behind in that XP. So right now they've got maybe 20% of a level in XP ahead of Church of Murky. And mostly that can be attributed to the increased number of camps that they've gotten, basically. Maybe a couple of minions here and there. And there goes that camp taking once again. Able to clear those very quickly with the Jaina and Zeratul. And Diablo far forward here, looking for somebody to get caught out. Only has the Johanna. But there goes the charge onto the Orphea. Silence from the Stukov, keeping Diablo from launching Orphea anymore, but unable to get the kill there, as popping those pustules to keep the dude alive. And we do see, it looked like Diablo was heading up there to go help out in the mid lane, but ultimately circles back around, comes down here, catches the heal from Alexstrasza. And now we've got 4 versus 3 here coming into this camp, and it looks like Diablo's going to charge in onto the Johanna. The blind coming out to the back line, but not a lot of auto attack damage coming out from this team. And Wood League's going to go ahead and finish off the camp, and because of that pressure, Church of Murky's just going to go ahead and back off, because Greymane had to come up here and deal with the mid lane. Jaina finishing up her level 1 globe quest before hitting level 10, so that'll provide her the additional 10% damage bonus from her frost chill effects. And there goes the Void Prison right into the backline. It's only Johanna that is out of it, but there goes that ring, followed up by the APOC. Hits 2 or 3, I think, and both of those two right next to each other. Orphea and Stukov will go down, as that combo was pretty well set up perfectly. And Zeratul going into that backline, trying to get a little bit of cleave damage out there. The Lifebinder gets popped onto Zeratul, keeping him nice and healthy. And Blessed Shield goes out, keeps Zeratul busy, as well as the Diablo from getting any further push against this team. And now half of Wood League is about half health in that uneven pushback, 3 versus 4, but they're able to really push them back, burn some ultimates. There are no ultimates now available from Wood League as this Shrine is coming up, and this is going to be a Mortar Punisher. Right? Yeah, Mortar Punisher. We do see pretty much all of the heroics available for Church of Murky, though. So we've got that Sanctification, we saw the Blessed Shield, Flailing Swipe, Go for the Throat, and the Crushing Jaws. So they've got, you know, a little bit of their own combo with that Blessed Shield and Crushing Jaws potential. Not a ton of setup for it, so we'll see if maybe Stukov takes that level 13 route to help with that. And here comes Woodley coming in. We get the blind to slow them down, dismount them. And they're all kind of in the one little choke point as Church of Murky's trying to get this shrine completed before they make it in. They've got 39, so they just need the one more. Crushing Jaws goes out, hits nobody. We do have the Sanctification going out. There's no VP to stop it, and Sailor Sky as a Dragon Queen trying to help out as much as she can, but it's going to be Zeratul going down thanks to that Greymane. The Punisher leaps in onto 3, but ultimately they're able to stay alive. And now we've got a full 5-man push coming out. We did lose a top fort, though, thanks to that Shaman camp that was picked up at the beginning. So they lose the Punisher, which just jumped onto Diablo. They're trying to get any kind of lockdown onto him to keep things pressured coming from Church of Murky. But right now, you still have this Shaman camp in the top lane, now pressuring the wall. So keep an eye on that. Stun onto Misha and Rexar. Cyan is taking a little bit of damage, but ultimately Church of Murky's backing away. This Punisher's almost dead, and they're gonna try to grab this camp. They don't have a whole lot of time to do it, but they clear it quickly. Welcome, Tooties. So glad that you could make it. I appreciate everything you've done for all of the casting, and also for just helping me to set up my cast, even though you didn't know you did it. Appreciate those videos, buddy. And there's that VP, so here comes a silence slowing down the potential for an APOC, but we do get that Ring of Frost. Flailing Swipe knocking him back, but Odin, I already screwed up the name, Greymane anyways, gets destroyed there, and Shock trying to make it out, doesn't quite make it out with that Condemn, and now Redbeard on the Tyrael trying to push past this wall and make it to safety, as once again a 2-0 kill in favor of Wood League as they level up to 13 and start picking those level 13 talents. Let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, that's in. That's not where I wanted to go. Zeratul popping over that wall to make sure that he's able to kill off the mid healing well. So they will no longer have that defensive ability. Yeah, that Shaman did, they got an absolute ton of value out of that camp. Equal as far as fort, but they got more out of the tower damage from that Shaman. They actually took down a tower, and the Punisher didn't. So no kills out of it or anything. And I think they actually got a kill, if I remember right, on the other team. So yeah, that ultimately was the better play for them. And it looks like, thanks to that kill earlier, they do get a significant amount of damage here onto this bottom fort as well. So lots of value plays from Wood League as they push in on this. Church of Murky has had, you know, some great plays. They got that bottom shrine nearly completed before they even had the enemy team come down here. But there's that VP followed up by the ring onto Orphea, and Stukov's in the middle of it. Greymane also getting caught, but Stukov gets charged into the wall, trying to make it out, but the Sanctification is too late to save him. And once again, 2 dead coming out from Church of Murky. Tyrael trying to split them off, make it out himself, and Johanna pops Iron Skin to get away, but Tyrael now in danger from the Misha stun, thanks to that Holy Ground, is going to be able to make it out. And they're calling, they want this fort in the bot lane. And Johanna making a little bit of a questionable play there, going back in to try to slow things down, as Diablo and Zeratul will punish that. And now we've got a staggered death from this Johanna. So the shrine up in the top lane is going to be an Arcane Punisher. And keep in mind that that goes straight into a keep now, because they had that Shaman camp earlier, clearing the way for them. They do have occasional catapults, as we see here showing up right now, making its way to the far end of the map, hopefully to get some structure damage. But it's going to get slowed up by the Shaman camp coming out from Church of Murky. So not as much potential value out of this one, likely, because the Punisher is in this top lane, as opposed to the bottom lane where we had the previous for Wood League. All right, so we've got a full team here, and there goes the Crushing Jaws onto Misha, but Droopy in the backline gets a big cleave out. doesn't really get a whole lot of damage out of it, but there goes the Alexstrasza Dragon Queen. They're about halfway now, so they're looking to finish this. Flailing Swipe coming out, knocking everybody back, but the Blessed Shield also goes out. But they're all really healthy in the red health bars, and blue's a little bit behind here. We do see that Sanctification trying to keep things going, but Shock and Orion are in just... well, never mind, they're dead. The VP ring combo once again coming out, manages to only hit the one, and now Redbeard and the dude trying to just make it out. Question mark, and we do see Tyrael go down. So a full 5-man team wipe coming out. Shaman Camp does get a little bit of value here. It does get this wall, but at what cost? Casual catapults? Is that what I said? Occasional. Sorry. Yeah, casual catapults. They're just showing up, you know, every once in a while. So now Arcane Punisher, it looks like most of the team will be up by the time this gets to the wall. Not all of them, though. But they're not pushing with it. Rexxar is going to go clean up in the bot lane. Zeratul coming up now. They don't have most of their combo abilities, so they just have the Lifebinder and the Bestial Wrath, which of course isn't here. The other side, though, we've got Blessed Shield, Go for the Throat, and Crushing Jaws. So if they can get a good stun on somebody, they could potentially get a nice combo here. But it's going to be Zeratul putting the pressure onto Stukov, forcing out the Flailing Swipe, pushing him back. The Punisher dead now, but the keep is already at half health. It's a 5 versus 4 here, but a lot of minions still left. There goes that Blessed Shield. The Crushing Jaws manages to catch only Diablo, and the Lifebinder will keep him quite healthy. The Ring of Frost, though, going out, hits Tyrael and I think Johanna, followed up by the Apoc. So no kills out of that, but it does allow them to disengage safely, as now level 16 online for Church of Murky as well. And we did see Rexxar got that lane nice and clear. Also came down to steal their camp. And Zeratul now, he's going to start working on... We're going to ignore that, Droopy. That Singularity Spike going off into nothingness. I'm sure you'll get this camp. But you got to be careful now, because we've got all four coming in from Church of Murky, blocking out the Misha. And Cyan might just have to sacrifice the bear, but Diablo coming in, charges into Orphea. But there goes the bear, and now Droopy coming in, trying to get some damage to finish off the dude. But the dude is safe, and it's now Redbeard that's in a little bit of trouble here, popping that shield, getting the shield onto the minions. Zeratul's prison doesn't hit anybody, but provides a wall that they cannot get past. Sanctification goes out to protect Tyrael. There's the Crushing Jaws onto nobody, and Droopy going back into the team, spreading that damage, as Alexstrasza pops Dragon Form into this silence, just walks right through it, and ultimately finishes off Tyrael. Oh, and by the way, they have a Shaman Camp working on this keep. They've got Khazra working on this mid fort. And they're just about level 20. They'll be, and there's the level 20. So they're going to look at getting this top Shaman Camp, and then, you know, honestly, I think they could have considered even going core. Well, maybe not. They're waiting for their ultimates to come up here before they go deep in on the team here. But, you know, level 20 available for them. The talents here, so we got the Ice Blink for Jaina, the upgraded multicast Lifebinder, the auto attacks slow, I think it is, and the damage for Rexxar. We haven't seen Zeratul pick his yet, and Hellgate for Diablo, so, you know, most of those are readily available now. In fact, all of them are, except for Zeratul, so, you know, and he does take the spell damage equals health, so there you go. And now, this Punisher could very well be the game for either team, depending on if they are able to get some kills out of this as well. So Diablo going into the back, scouting out, making sure he knows where the team is, and Starting it up is Church of Murky, looking to get some points. Zeratul scouting around in the back here. He's coming in looking for that VP, as Diablo just getting shredded in the back. Misha's gonna get in there with the team on the VP. VP getting cast or broken a little bit early, and so nobody gets caught by the Ring of Frost. Bigoli using that flailing swipe, trying to get some distance in between, but Zeratul's gonna finish off Orphea, and Rexar is gonna be able to catch up to the Stukov as well. Redbeard gets charged in the back there as most of the team continues to chase down Johanna, and Redbeard here in a lot of trouble. The Holy Ground only slowing things down so much, popping that Tyrael trait to get some value out of killing some minions, and only Greymane left alive, and it looks like we're seeing a core call here coming out from Wood League. Get a kill, then another kill. Exactly. Push down bot lane. But they don't need. They don't feel they need the Punisher. And there's only about 10 seconds before Orphea and Stukov are going to be available here, so they've got to push this down quickly. Dragon Queen is going to get popped to try to help ensure this. A Crushing Jaws does go out, but ultimately no follow-up to finish the job there. And this core is just melting, and it's going to be game number 1 going over to Wood League. All right. Let's see. So Wood League is the red team. Update that. So stats here, we see 20 kills to 1 in favor of Wood League. That actually surprised me. I thought that there were more kills against Wood League. I thought Church of Murky had some kills in there, but you know, they just weren't able to quite get that Orphea combo off, and it seemed like every time once level 10 hit, quite literally level 10 hit, they had combos just left and right every single time. And that was, you know, just brutal against Church of Murky here. And oh, I got a friend request. Oh, it looks like we're all ready to go for game number 2. So getting into Towers of Doom. So yeah, so those stats, those talents, you know, the stats again, I didn't feel like that was so heavily weighted in favor of Wood League on the kills. Maybe Church of Murky feels differently about it. Get them to switch their sides, because right now they're on the wrong sides. The joys of casting, right? So now, so Towers of Doom is a little bit of a comeback potential map. It allows you to be a little bit behind and still, you know, potentially win the game. You can literally have one shot on your core and come back and get every single tower and, you know, and win. Can't tell you the number of times that I've had that on both sides, unfortunately, of the map. So let's see. Oh my god, everybody wants to friend me tonight. I don't even know who. All right. All right, so let's take a look. So who all do we have in chat? DeWitt's in the house tonight. Welcome, DeWitt. Oh, you know what? You're right, Cyan. Your bear did die in there. Zeratul also died. He was the feeder. He was the big feeder for Wood League that game with that big 1. Tootie, Giggle Schmack. Good to see everybody. Himibo. Let's see. Change first pick. That would be their deal, not mine. Good deal. There's a little bit of chatter about the damage coming out from that Zeratul. It looks like we're just about ready to go, although we are missing somebody here. Just there they go. There we go. And let's get the teams set up on our list here so that I don't screw that up again. Got Redbeard, we got the dude, Probably just easier for me to type their names in. It goes faster. Billy, Shock, and Orion. All right, so this time I'll have the player pop-up windows because I like seeing those. Took me a long time to figure out how to get that done, so you know, got to make sure that I get the value out of what Soothsayer provides. All right, let them know I'm ready. Let me know if you guys can hear that fan. I don't think it should be picked up by the mic, but let me know if it... I just said I'm ready. They're asking me if I'm ready. I literally just, I'm ready. And they said, is Arrow ready? I said, I'm ready. We're ready to go. Okay. So again, with this being 2 maps that are played, they select the maps at the beginning. And obviously we just saw the Infernal Shrines, which was picked by Church of Murky, won by Wood League. Well, we're going to Towers of Doom now. And that was picked by Wood League. And they said no to that Zeratul. Not a big surprise. Pretty rough. Allowed them to set up a ton of combos. And Asmodan being the pick for their ban for Wood League. Second time for that one. How often do you guys see Asmodan in chat? I haven't seen Asmodan in a good long while. Whether in a tournament game or even in like Storm League. I mean, I've seen him in QM, but I mean, whatever. You see everything in QM, right? Diablo, another, you know, another combo maker. Those shadow charges made it very difficult on the Greymane, on the Orphea. You know, was quite a challenge for them to deal with. Oh, I did see Murda out there too, so I want to shout out to my buddy Murda in chat. And the White Mane. So they're sticking with the similar bans that they had in round 1 against Church of Murky. So we'll see if anybody picks up the Anduin, since it was not banned this time. And we're gonna see a Nubarak being the first pick for Church of Murky. Nubarak. There we go. And this time, swapping off of the Alexstrasza over to the Ana is going to be Sailor Sky. Followed up with the Johanna. So switching teams is Johanna. Yeah, let's see. Sailor Sky is on Ana, and Team is on Johanna. And we're sticking with that Greymane, but there's the Anduin. So, you know, that I kind of was expecting a little bit of that out of the first game, but of course they banned the Anduin. You know, the Anduin Greymane combo potential is just so strong. It allows you to go in as Greymane. It's kind of like, not maybe as strong as like a D-Shield Greymane, but it still allows you to be Greymane and just go in hard and do whatever you want and know that your teammate will quite literally pull you out from the bad. Follow-up ban of Dahaka, so that's more of a Towers of Doom ban, keeping them from getting around the map too quickly. Chat calling out for Wood League to get this win. And there goes the Rexar. So they, you know, Rexar can be pretty valuable here too. You know, that far solo lane in the top lane. But that leaves open the Pale Horse Malthael to be able to do a double soak if they want to go for that. And then the Kael'thas from Kavlor. So they changed their drafting strategy pretty significantly there. Why is Cyan not on here? Droopy's got... We don't have Droopy yet. Who's M10 playing? Johanna. Oh, I have Johanna. Okay, that's why. And there's the Chen that we were talking about earlier, and by we, I mean me. So we'll get to see. I don't know if this is his XGDI debut. I think it might be. I don't know if there were any games on Tuesday. But we'll get to see how this turns out for Church of Murky, looking to roll around with the new panda here. Oh, and by the way, also Kel'Thuzad. So we got both of the KTs rolling up in here tonight. And followed up by that Sylvanas. So I fully expect this to be a Malthael double soaking, you know, top mid with that Pale Horse. And then, you know, just a 4-man solid push down in the bot lane. They've got the Johanna for protection. They've got the Sylvanas to shut things down. The Merc Queen. You know, the zoning potential out of Kael'thas with the stuns. That's going to be, what? Malthael v Chen. I don't know. Chen's ability to rotate quickly between lanes. Where is the... You know what? I don't know. I don't know, Tootie. Nobody banned it. Nobody picked it. What's going on? These people. Make sure that we've got everybody on the right things here for my little pop-ups. Well, if they're wrong now, it's because people loaded too quickly. I blame you. Alright, for some reason we're starting on the red side this game, so we'll go ahead and introduce them first. We've got Sailor Sky on the Ana, Emtino on Johanna, Cyan on Malthael, Kavlar on Kael'thas, popping off those B-steps, and Droopy on Sylvanas. And that's for Wood League. For Church of Murky, we've got Redbeard tossing out that taunt. I think that's level 25 taunt, 25 to 49. Shock on Anubrak, Beguli on Anduin, Orion on Greymane, and the Dude on Kel'Thuzad. All right, so we do have that Pale Horse. So I expect to see that double soak. And he's already heading up to get that double soak right out of the gate. We do have the stacking talent from Sylvanas at level 1, and Kavlar already getting the dive from Greymane, but there goes some living bombs. Getting some spread onto Redbeard. Getting a couple of chains and roots coming out from the Kel'Thuzad as well. the Alliance teaming up with the Undead. Oh, and round 2 for Greymane versus Kael'thas, and this time it is going to be a kill. And that is First Blood coming out from Church of Murky, making a statement at the start of this game, letting Wood League know that last game was just a fluke. This is their time to shine now. And it's gonna be fun to see this Kel'Thuzad. I can't wait to see, you know, I'm hoping to see some big combos out of this. So make that happen for me, the Dude. So once again, Wood League is able to get right up onto their camps shortly after they've spawned. But we are going to see the aggressive engagement coming out here from Church of Murky trying to get in here. Greymane diving in, going after that Kael'thas once again, but Anubrak is so very low, and now Greymane also very low. And the statement that was made a little bit earlier, perhaps a little bit too early, as Wood League comes back, says, hey, you're not taking our camps. That's not how we're playing this game. These are our camps. And now, Kel'Thuzad, with about 30% of his mana available with the healing globe there, is trying to put up some kind of defense. But that camp obliterates the first wall. He goes to sleep, and now with a full minion wave, he's in a little bit of trouble. Orion coming down to catch on and try to help to protect his teammate from this this solid push out of Wood League. So they will get them pushed back, and Anubrak's going to go ahead and anchor this bush, catch the Johanna coming through, and we've got 4 of Church of Murky coming up here protecting their camp. And Wood League says, yeah, you know what? We don't need to come into your camp. We're okay with you letting you have that. I'm sorry. Correction. Johanna's calling for the assist. Or maybe that was Anubrak. I don't know. Big stun out. Greymane diving in, followed up by the Anubrak, trying to get that Kael'thas, but unfortunately the leap of faith back a little bit too late with that living bomb spread, and Greymane's going to go down again. Kael'thas getting his revenge onto the werewolf. Up in the top lane, we did see both Chen and Malthael get their camps easily, and I believe it was Ana who was able to sneak that in down here, as that kill onto Greymane allowed them to do so safely. Overlay change, please. Am I not on the... Oh, I'm not. Sorry. My bad. There you go. Thanks. And yes, go dude, right? I want to see some Kel'Thuzad action. Make it happen. I want to see people blow up, and I want to see those shadow fishers knock people up into the air and go flying off to the side of the screen. Make it happen. Checking in on these talents here. Seeing that burrow charge coming out of the beetle, as opposed to the movement speed for the W. We'll see if he takes the W at 7, giving him that reduced cooldown on the shield. And Kael'thas going into the Eternal Bombs. Or not the Eternal Bombs, that's obviously level 20. He's going into the additional bomb damage when it spreads. So kind of banking on the fact that Church of Murky's going to spread those bombs. And we see everybody down here trying to get this bottom fort away. Sailor Sky puts the bug to sleep with a sleep dart. Shock coming back in, trying to keep the team locked down here as they do dive in onto the Kael'thas. The dive coming from both Chen and Greymane. They're pushing hard on him, trying to get him out. This time the Leap of Faith pulls him back in time, but ends up going down from the Johanna. The combo coming out from Kel'Thuzad onto Johanna, locking her down. And it is Greymane followed up by Chen that will end up dying on the side of Church of Murky. So a 2-for-1. And now we've got the bot altar, I'm sorry, the mid altar, I guess, it's kind of mid, coming up online and in favor of Woodley. Oh, and by the way, they also still have this tower that they can defend in the bot lane as the Pumpkin Sappers coming up from both camps. Zoom out a little bit here. So we do see it looks like Kael'thas, rather, is going to go ahead and start working on that camp, as the rest of these three are going to go ahead and just defend this bottom tower. And if you're Church of Murky, you've got to get pressure here. You can't just leave this, or you're going to end up losing points. You're going to lose altars potentially, although the next two altars rather are in the top, so that part of it's not as urgent, but there's 6 points potentially walking in. And there's the combo pull onto Sylvanas, but Kel'Thuzad having to be so far forward, getting dropped under half from the damage coming from that team. And now, because of this, we've got 5 of Woodley coming down, getting in onto this Sapper camp. And so here come these 6 potential points. Greymane, recognizing the threat here, is going to go ahead and come down. Malthael's going to get back to soaking. His level 10 now online. We do see the Pyro Blast, Nano Boost rather, Last Rites, Blessed Shield, and 1 Sapper got through, it looks like, so far. Not quite. There's a second one. We still have 2 available that they're watching here, trying to keep them from getting through. It looks like they will go ahead and kill that last one. So 2 additional points, I think, total for Wood League out of that. And points is points. That's permanent core damage. So we do see Malthael coming over here to his defensive altar and realizing that they're already over there. Sailor Sky maybe didn't realize that Chen was there, and Chen's able to push her back. And so we just see an even trade 1-for-1, however, slightly favoring Wood League thanks to maintaining this bottom fort. And so now 3 versus 4 down here. The level 10 going out. The Blessed Shield, holy cow, just catches the Kel'Thuzad and obliterates him. Greymane getting the counter kill onto that Sylvanas. But Kael'thas shows up and finishes that werewolf, cooks his goose, as it were. And ultimately, another 2-for-1 in favor of Wood League. And they have no significant damage down here at Church of Murky, so it's going to be real hard for them to push in. They're just trying to get whatever soak they can out of here, and they're not soaking mid or top, whereas Malthael's going to go ahead and get that top camp. Sylvanas is coming back as well, so they've got to make something happen here soon. And it looks like Chen's going to dive in on that Johanna. The Anubrak's going to dive in instead on the Kael'thas, And they're trying to push forward, give them some kind of front line here. The combo from Kel'Thuzad misses the root. Out goes the Cocoon onto Kael'thas, but he'll get popped out pretty quickly. Unstoppable popped by Johanna, and she's going to pull these two in, Anduin and Chen, trying to make sure that they get everybody together for these big plays out of the living bombs, and Kael'thas is going to get the Pyroblast follow-up from Johanna that kills off Anduin. And there goes Greymane. And now the stagger on Chen gonna get melted away by that shield. But a lot of damage going out, and 2 deaths right before this altar. And even though Church of Murky got their fort back, Wood League is saying, you know what, we can take it before we go get these altars. And I don't know if that's necessarily the right call, because it gives now Church of Murky the potential to grab one of these. Very close was Chen there. Not quite gonna make it. So it just depends on how this fight goes now. If and they're back anyway. So it looks like it was the best call for them. If this fight didn't go according to plan and you lose a person, all of a sudden you lose, you know, all of the altars. They do have enough of an advantage though that they probably could afford to give up a few points. But you can never, again, I mean, I said at the beginning, like, you only need 1 point to win the game. So all 5 of Church of Murky back down here, taking their bottom fort. Malthael on the camp for Wood League. And they're looking for something. Right now, they're soaking, trying to get that 13 to catch up in talents. Kel'Thuzad pulling the Johanna back, but the root just outside of where it needed to be. The honor grenade goes out, and so much living bomb damage going out as Greymane and Anduin both get melted. The last rites and the pyroblast finish off Anubarak and Chen, respectively. So a little bit early on that fight, and you know, some I don't want to call it questionable positioning. It was too close. They were too close together going in on targets, and Kael'thas capitalized on that. And with that level 7 talent, all the more damage going out. All right. Some new names in chat. And we got the finger guns. The Bahamut finger guns coming out. All right, Light Bomb onto Chen. Doesn't manage to connect with anybody. Johanna pops her Unstoppable to go ahead and walk away from this. Anubarak dives away. And they still have this tower here. Storm, Earth, and Fire coming out from Chen. They apparently do want to take this fight regardless of the tower nearby here. The combo going out manages to take out that Sylvanas, but look at those health bars on blue. They're so low as Greymane will die to the tower. They're trying to dive in on this Kael'thas, and there's the big root coming out from Kel'Thuzad, getting that Kael'thas kill, and now Wood League trying to back away as Malthael is channeling up top for the game. Unless Kel'Thuzad can do something here, which he cannot. So we did finally get that Kel'Thuzad combo. Just a little bit too late. Let's see. I'll go to the casting booth. Let's see. So, Cablor. Get that set up. Get the stats showing here. So we have 5 to 14. So a lot, you know, a lot better performance in general coming out from Church of Murky. They did get some, you know, really solid plays there. They got some, you know, good kills. Just a couple of counter kills, unfortunately, each time they got. And we are joined by Kavlor. Welcome, Kavlor.
Thank you. Thank you.
So congratulations on your win. And from what I hear, that puts you guys in first place.
I think the math comes out that way, yeah.
Well, congratulations. So how do you feel after this season in the XGDI?
Pretty good. You know, I think we built on into this season. We built some synergy, and honestly, kind of got beat the very first week against Lubu, and we're like, hey, let's not have a repeat of last season, and we got it together, and we ended up running off a long streak of wins.
Well, fantastic. You guys played like you knew exactly what you're doing tonight. Your timing on the camps was on point. And let me just say, game one, you guys played the Zeratul, Jaina, Diablo combo like it was well practiced. This is clearly the first time you've played it, right?
Maybe the second time. We played like Jaina, Zeratul, Diablo, Zeratul, but whenever we tried the three all together, it's like we overlap and we do terrible. So honestly, and we even told ourselves tonight, like, okay, we're not going for the 3 combo. Let's just try and get 2. It's an extra. We didn't really plan to try and do like a triple thing. So I think without that added pressure of getting everything super perfect, it actually worked instead of overlapping things. So thankfully it didn't bite us in the ass.
It certainly didn't, and I have to say that you guys did exactly that. Each of those combos were a Void Prison followed up by a ring. Sometimes you had like a ring followed up by the APOC. There was a grand total of 1 Void Prison that actually managed to miss everybody, but it was so good. It was in that bot lane at that bot camp and completely isolated everybody. It was like Tyrael and Johanna were on one side and couldn't go anywhere, and then they just died, right?
Yeah, thankfully. And I think if that was the same fight I'm thinking about, I wasn't able to get a ring off. I got interrupted, but it still ended up being nice, so it worked out.
Yeah, the Stukov got a silence off on you, and then I think you guys ended up like getting almost everybody, if not everybody, and like maybe everybody but Greymane in that fight.
I think we got 4, yeah.
Yeah. So that was, that was well played. And, that first game was, I said it, unfortunately I've said it a couple times. I don't want to harp on Church of Murky too much about this, but in that first game, 20 kills to 1. It didn't feel like that watching it. It felt like there was a lot more back and forth, but when you ultimately got to the end, those combos were just so on point that the stats don't lie, right? I mean, it was the end of the game.
It's hard. I mean, we were worried about the Tyrael and Sank with the VP, but because if they used the Sank and everything, then we had the extra double follow-up. So that was the nice thing, is if they protect against one, we've got follow-up that we can still do something with, instead of just like, hey, we blew everything and now we're screwed.
Right. So game 2, you guys changed it up a little bit. They clearly did not like what they had seen in game number 1, because they banned, as much as they could out of it, right? So
yeah, they banned 3 of our heroes, I think, that we played.
Yeah, Rexar, Diablo, and Zeratul. Yep. So there you go. So what was your strategy going into game 2, knowing that you had a very strong game 1? How did things change up for you in game 2?
Well, Towers was our map, was our pick, so we feel like we've got a good feel for camp timings and trying to get good soak and just get a lead, and that map is so important for controlling the bottom lane. So we just tried to play our game and say, hey, let's make them feel uncomfortable maybe, and interrupt some of their rotations. Maybe they're not gonna realize that we're going to push bot this hard, and they're going to have to change up their rotations. We're going to get our double soak in. So, and it worked. We got a level lead, and really that's what we wanted. They had to stop what they wanted to do to counter us, instead of us playing their game. They ended up playing our game.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, you guys executed that well. You got that bottom fort pretty early on, and then every time you lost it, you got it right back, right? They pushed a little bit too far, you killed them, and then you just took it back. Then you also got altars because, the timing worked out for such. What were your thoughts when you saw the Chen come up, with him being reworked recently?
We actually talked about it before our matches tonight, and, like the results that we've been seeing or hearing about the new Chen he was average. He's better than he was, but he's still not, broken or S tier or anything like that. So we weren't too worried. We thought it would actually be kind of fun, like a good experience to see how it ended up. But clearly it's our first match with him being reworked. So we're glad that it went our way.
Sure. So looking forward, you've got playoffs coming up, obviously, and right now I don't know how the game went over on Mark Zombie's channel between Bancho and Lubu, but obviously that could determine ultimately who you end up playing against. whenever you guys set that up.
It might change the seeding. Yeah, I'm not sure who will be matched up against. So I'll need to see who won and how that pans out. But I have a feeling Lubu, I think, would be the favorite to win. So they would get the 3rd seed, I think.
Yeah, so Lubu's at 3, and so it would just depend. Bancho, if they get 1 point, it sounded like they were still out. If they get 2 points, then they overcome Do It Right, and then they take that 4th seed. So gotcha. Ultimately, it'll either be Bancho or Do It Right. Do you have a preference on which team, or do you feel more practiced against one team or the other?
I feel like we're more practiced against Do It Right. We've had some scrim opportunities against them, and we haven't had any scrims against Bancho, so we're more familiar with Do It Right and Ronan's team.
Sure. And so what other plans do you guys have going forward? I did notice that your roster looks a little bit different than, perhaps the last time that I got to play you guys. Is this kind of your roster going forward, or is this just for this tournament?
This is our roster going forward. So we created a sister team, an affiliate team. Wood Tap That is our sister team now, to keep the wood theme. And Corix swapped over there to be the captain of that team. And this is the team we got here. We were able to pick up, thankfully, Cyan and Sky from the Found Vikings. Their loss is our gain, and we're feeling good about it.
Excellent, good deal. And I did see Corix in chat shouting you guys out tonight, so definitely some people out there watching for you guys. A lot of people rooting for you. Those are all the questions that I've got for you. So feel free to take a moment, shout out friends, family, or opponents or potential opponents you've got coming up here in the future. The floor is yours.
I want to say thanks to Church of Murky. We've scrimmed them, and we played them, I think, 12 times this last season. So I think we had a good feel for each other, and maybe they're at a disadvantage because we had some of those new players, but they had players we are used to. But either way, we love playing them, respect those guys. And then again, shout out to Sky and Cyan joining the team and making it feel real smooth and seamless.
Good deal. Well, thanks very much for joining us tonight, putting on a good show here, and good luck in your first matchup against whichever team, Do It Right or Bancho, you get to face, and the rest of the playoffs.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Arrow.
Absolutely. All right, so that's going to wrap us up for the evening here. Between Church of Murky and Wood League, we did see a 2-0 for Wood League. Let's take a quick look at the updated standings here. Now, again, this is only for this game. It hasn't been updated to reflect the Bancho and Do It Right game, which was taking place at exactly the same time with Mark Zombie. So we'll find out soon enough about how that goes. Make sure you check the Discord for that, and it looks like that went 1-1. I just zipped over to their channel, so it looks like Lubu and Bancho both won one game. So let me actually update that, because that'll put the points as follows. And there you go. So now you can see the updated points. Lubu and Do It Right. Now I don't know which team, Lubu or Do It Right, has the tiebreaker there. Oh, I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Do It Right didn't get a point. Bancho got a point. Nah, I screwed it all up. Anyways, I think they're at 9 and they're at 7. So yeah, there we go. I think that's correct. I'm changing things on the fly here. So Lubu, I think, is at 9 points, so they're still in 3rd. And then I think Do It Right holds the overall tiebreaker against Bancho, so I think they're in 4th place. Do not quote me on that. I'm not the person who makes those decisions. Thank you, everybody, for joining me this evening. It's been a pleasure having you as my guests, And we'll see you again here soon. So coming up soon, we do have the rest of the playoffs for the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. We've got the remainder of the playoffs for the Pleb Fiesta for 101 Mongoose, and we have NGS Season 7 coming up soon. So keep an eye out here. Make sure you hit the follow button so you get notified when I start doing these additional casts. And you can certainly follow me at Twitter as well. I suppose I have that at Warrior Arrow. Other than that, look me up on the NGS Discord or the XGDI Discord, wherever you hang out. Have a great night, and we'll see you soon.